G'day, it's Joel Rasmussen from Southern Cross Combat, and ahead of her fight at Hex, I'm talking to Miss Cynthia Calvillo. First off, Cynthia, thank you so much for the time. Welcome to Australia. I'm sorry the weather isn't the best, but how are you enjoying it?
Oh, it's great. Honestly, I really love the coffee out here. So, this is my second time coming to Melbourne. The last time I came, I think it was about 9 years ago before I was a professional. And one of my dreams was always to fight in Australia. So now it's here.
Australia is very happy to have you. Melbourne is known, all of Australia is known for the coffee culture. Melbourne is as well, specifically. How do you like your coffee?
Well, I just like mine with like a little cream and sugar, so nothing too fancy. But it just tastes really good, and I can't really add any of the too much sugar because I'm in, it's fight week. So after my fight, I'll probably enjoy a little bit more delicious coffee. But for right now, it's just milk and coffee. I mean, milk and a little bit of sugar.
You can get the nice stuff comes after, as you said. You have to hold off for this week, but maybe you'll get a chance to enjoy it later. You mentioned just there, this is not your first time in Melbourne, just in general. You said 9 years ago. What brought you out the first time?
Well, I just came out here obviously because I wanted to come to Australia and visit. One of my best friends is actually from Perth. She had a baby last year, so it's a little bit hard to travel. But I wanted to come out here, but she couldn't make it. But it's okay. And also, while I was out here, I did Sydney Open. So I went to go do a jiu-jitsu competition out there, and it was pretty fun. Had a couple of matches and got to enjoy the beach, so it was nice.
Getting to enjoy the beach is very nice. We were having a thrilling conversation before about the weather, and you talked about what it's like in Vegas. I know you maybe haven't done it heaps, and it was 9 years ago. But how do you find competing in Australia?
It's really cool. I really like everybody out here. Everybody's super nice and cool, and just like culturally wise, like everybody's pretty friendly, and they just like to go hang out and grab a drink and just chat and stuff. So, it's been great. Sorry, I was just like looking off, just thinking, but no, I love it out here. I love Melbourne. Of course, I wish the weather was a little bit warmer, but I'll take it.
As I said, I am sorry it's not as nice. You were distracted by the beautiful sights of the roads out there.
Just all that wind, and just it's nice. You're just watching people almost flying away.
Actually, if someone walked by with an umbrella, they're just gone. It's just over.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Um, so not your first time competing in Australia in general with the martial arts. However, this is the first time as a professional MMA fighter you've fought outside of the US, if I'm not mistaken. I hope I got that right. I did the research. Glasgow is what I saw.
Yeah, I fought in Scotland and I fought in Argentina.
Oh, okay. So I apologize, my mistake. Um, but still, that's it's not the majority of your fights. The majority of fights are at home. How is it to fight away from home, and especially like here, it's so far away?
Yeah, it is. It is different because not only do you guys drive on the other side of the street, so I got to make sure when I look left and right, I'm looking the right directions, and it's just different because I don't really have like, it's not like I know a lot of people out here and I don't know my way around. Some of the stores are different, so I can't like use the same applications or websites to like look for things out here. So it is a little bit more of an adjustment trying to figure things out to get the things that I need for like fight week. But overall, it's just really cool. I'm just really intrigued to just seeing like the different cultures and just like people out here. And like, just yesterday I went to the mall, went down to the Emporium. So I was like, so many floors, so many stores. I felt a little overwhelmed, but it was nice. I'm definitely going to go back there and get me some more treats to take back home to everybody because you guys have delicious treats. Like my friend, every time she would come home from Australia, she'd always bring me all kinds of cookies and chocolates. So it was my favorite.
That's awesome. Talking about the fight, um, I was very impressed when I saw your name on the poster. I was like, oh my god, like Hex has done very well. How did this fight come your way? How did you hear about it? When someone approaches you and says, "You want to fly all the way to Australia to fight?" Like, what was your initial reaction?
Well, honestly, I thought it was like really pretty cool. Because like I said, I've always wanted to fight in Australia. So when the opportunity presented itself, I was like, yeah, yes, let's go do it. And I I just wanted to come out here and continue to prove myself. I still believe that I belong, fighting at the highest level. Unfortunately, I had some mishaps with like missing weight and injuries, and just things just didn't go my way. But this is the fight game. You have a lot of ups and downs, and so I'm just trying to make my way back out. And I've already noticed that there's a lot of Hex is producing a lot of UFC caliber fighters. I mean, they just signed. I think they have two guys from Contenders, our previous champions. I think. I I've paid attention to that. So it's been pretty cool. They're really really impressive. So I think the Australian MMA is evolving rapidly. So a lot of high level production of athletes for the UFC. So it's great. I'm excited to be a part of it, and even better to be a main event. And to be fighting one of their hometown girls. So I'm always stoked about that.
As I've already said it, but yet again, Australia is very happy to have you. Talking about it, as you said, it is the fight game, and the fight game can be very unforgiving. Um, the mentality entering this one, your last two fights were very competitive. They didn't go your way, but they were very competitive. And especially this being the first one outside of the UFC in a while, is there kind of something to prove coming back kind of to a regional scene and being like, no, I still, you kind of touched on it, but I still am that world caliber fighter?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I still believe, I'm one of the best in the world, and I want to continue fighting and make my way back up to the top. Like I said, you some things you can't control, and it's just a fight game. I try to dabble a little bit with going to the strawweight division, and because that's where I started when I got into the UFC, but. It's been difficult for me. So unfortunately, I missed the weight at 3 times. So now I'm moving up to 25s and hoping I can get back and get myself settled in to the flyweight division. And so I think this is a great opportunity to put me back up there, especially it's a championship. So, it'd be nice to get a title and hopefully make my case to have them sign me again. Whatever other big promotions out there, but for now, I'm really happy to participate and perform for Hex.
How are you feeling like at the bigger weight class? Do you feel stronger? Does it feel? How does it feel?
Well, I definitely not as miserable and I'm not as starving as much. But like at 115, it's really difficult. Like pretty much everything's got to go perfect in order for me to make the weight. If something happens, it can make it very difficult for me to. Those last 2 to 3 pounds is just, it's crazy. But um, at flyweight, I'm definitely a lot more happier. I have more energy and it's easier for me to travel overseas just because when you have a long flight, you also retain a lot of water. It takes a couple days for your body to balance out, and that can be an issue when trying to make the weight. So definitely, it's helped me out just be more healthier, and I think it's better for my longevity. I try to. I kept trying to go back down just because everybody at the highest level not only is really really good, but they're also really good at cutting weight. So there's always everybody's just trying to get every little advantage as possible. But after trying so many times, sometimes you gotta fall down a couple times and get right back up. But I think the flyweight division's where I belong. I think it's healthier and it's gonna allow me to fight many more times.
As you mentioned, you're fighting a hometown girl, Lisa Kyriacou. She has fought on a road to UFC in her last fight. She's also fought in one championship, so she has gotten a little bit of that international experience. Did you know much about her prior to this? And if not, when you started to like research her and watch her tape and stuff, what do you make of her as a fighter?
Yeah, I didn't know too much about her, and to be quite honest, I didn't watch any film. I have my coaches do that. I just feel like it's easier for me to focus on the task in hand and what I do instead of, because a lot of times if we focus too much on what they're doing and you watch film and you're like waiting for them to do those moves, and then before you know it, the round passes you by and they didn't do any of the stuff that you thought they were going to do. So my main focus is just to improve on all of my holes and just to continue to improve and, just do whatever my coaches say. That's what I do. But I do know that, she had a close fight. She had a split decision on the road to the UFC. So this is an amazing opportunity for her because if she were to be able to beat me, then, that'd make a case for her to go ahead and get into the UFC. So I think it's an awesome opportunity for both of us. I have a lot of respect for her, and, I'm expecting a great fight.
Talking about that experience, as I said, she's had a little bit of that international experience, but I don't think anything compares to what you've done and the fights you have had. Um, does that play a big part in this? In that, like, you have been to the dance, you've been to that highest level. Does that bring any level of calmness when you fight someone like Lisa?
Yeah, I mean, definitely, I have something to prove, not to necessarily everybody, but just to myself. It's been really difficult for me these last couple years, just trying to get back into, the winning side. I've had some crazy fights and just, injuries and close split decisions, but I believe, like I said, that I belong here and that I will prevail and I can show everybody out there that this is where I belong and um yeah, I'm just really excited to come out here and prove myself and I think that it's going to be a great opportunity for Lisa to really see what it takes to be out here. And I'm definitely going to be using my experience as an advantage, but I have no doubt that, one day she can reach that level, but I don't think it's going to be this Saturday.
Um, as the person coming in fighting the hometown girl, the crowd will be on her side. You'd have to assume that. How do you go with that? Are you okay? Are you mentally prepared maybe for some booze?
Yeah, I mean, I'm expecting that. I fought Joanne Calderwood in Scotland. She was a hometown sweetheart, and you just gotta go tunnel vision. When I walked out there, I swear to God, everybody was yelling at me, "You're gonna lose," or trying to throw stuff like all crazy, and I just had to stay focused. And I went in there and I fought my fight, and I won. And then I think after the fight, then everything just kind of settled in and stuff. But you know what? Like, yeah, it's all right for you to support your hometown girl, and it's okay. What I realized is that fighters, that the fans will always just love fighters, period. So I feel like after the fight, I don't think hopefully they're gonna be as mean to me. When I was in Scotland, I fought and I beat Joanne Calderwood. They were actually super sweet. It was during like my birthday. So after my fight, they all showed up to the hotel and brought me a chocolate cake. So I think I might have the same experience. It's not my birthday, but I'm thinking that, we can still go out and have some fun after my fight and everybody's gonna be cool.
I was going to say, you mentioned how nice everyone in Australia is. I think there'll be about a 25-minute period where maybe not everyone's so nice to you, but then afterwards, no matter what, I think everyone will go back to being nice, hopefully, at least.
Oh, for sure. That's what I'm expecting.
And now, as you mentioned, this is for a title. If you win this title, you are a champion here. Are you prepared to come back if you win this title? You may have to make the flight again to defend it.
Oh, that's fine. I love it here, So I'm glad. Honestly, like for me, it's such a privilege and it's an honor to be able to live this lifestyle, to be able to travel the whole world and meet all kinds of people. Like before I started fighting, I never would have thought that I've been able to like travel this much in my life at all. And so, it's been a blessing, and I'm really excited. So if they bring me back, I'm more than happy to, for sure.
You've talked about the connections here. You've talked about having some friends out here. Of course, you are a businesswoman. You are here to work, and that's what the focus is. But after the fight, are you getting a chance to hang out? Do you get to sightsee a little bit, or is it straight back home?
Yeah, we have to go straight back home. Unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, it's a good thing. My coach that's here with me, which is actually Alex Perez, who is a previous former flyweight champion, but is also an amazing coach. He has to go back and corner a bunch of other UFC fighters that have fights. So I don't have anybody else that's gonna be able to stick around. I might maybe stay a day too. We'll see how things happen. But for now, my flight's booked for Sunday, so I'm gonna try to do some sightseeing during the week. So probably go check out a couple places, see what's around here. Um, like I said, the weather's not the best, but if it was nicer, maybe I'd be able to. Make it a more exciting trip where I can go sightseeing, but I don't know what this weather's gonna prevent me to do, but I'll try to do my best to enjoy it.
Maybe next time you'll get a chance to hang out a little bit
Oh yeah,
more.
I'm gonna be like, Hex, you know what? You got to do it during the summertime. You can't do it in the winter, please.
We are entering spring, but it's a crazy spring. So, you never know in Melbourne, especially in Melbourne. The weather is like crazy in Melbourne. That's what we get. We have coffee and we have weather that you can't rely on.
Yeah, they say that you can get 4 seasons in one day. So, yeah, but that's what my strength and conditioning coach, actually, Gav Pratt. He's from Perth, but he's my main strength and conditioning back in Las Vegas. So he was giving me a couple pointers, but yeah, no, it's awesome. I love it. Like I said, some of my best friends are Australian, so I'm more than happy to be here.
Cynthia, I thank you so much for the time. It really is appreciated. I know, as we just touched on, I don't know if you're going to get a chance to hang out. If you do, I hope you enjoy it. And either way, safe travels home after it all. And I thank you so much for the time. It was a real pleasure.
Same, likewise.
Thank you so much.